ॐ गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनम् ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Offering our collective love at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri 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 Satya Sai Baba Varu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. We are in the last Panchati of Anuvakam 9 in the month of September, and studying the mantra that is related to the conclusion of all the different cosmic forces that enable the whole universe. After the description of the 7 Parjanyas, this last 4-5 lines of this month of this Panchati is now describing the protection of such forces and the appeasing of those forces by performing different sacrifices that are prescribed in the scriptures, and such rituals and their significance is protected as it is described by Maharshi Jamadagni. Maharshi Jamadagni Akurvata. His birth was intended for that. Jamadagni Makurvata. What that means is that this Maharshi Jamadagni's manifestation is intended primarily for the protection of these rituals. And who is this Jamadagni? Not just one of the Sapta Rishis, those that have consumed this fire, Jamadagni, those that consumed this fire of dharma, they are ordained by the divine himself to protect the Vedas and the rituals. So Jamadagni is not the story of one Saptarishis. Those that have the fire in the belly, and that fire is dharma. Those that have the fire in this belly called dharma, they are the ones that their birth is intended to protect the Vedas and the Vedic aspects. That is the understanding, symbolic understanding. Because this dharma is like a fire. It will, the dharma means what? Dharma does not mean very simply outward meaning of the dharma is duty. But dharma does not mean simply duty. Duty is a manifestation of dharma, meaning a sub-value of dharma is duty. Dharma cannot be transliterated in English. There is no equivalent word to dharma in English. If you find one, please educate the speaker. Dharayati iti dharmaha. What you wear as a vesture is dharma. What does it mean, what you wear as a vesture? The divine consciousness, beautiful Upadesha Saram couplet by Bhagavan Ramana. Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bhida Sattva Bhavita Vastu Kevalam. Isha means the divine consciousness combined with this thing called Maya is called Ishvara. Isha means the master controller of the universe. As I always described in that Sa Ishvaraya Vidmahe, Ishvara means the iOS of all the iPhones. That which controls, how simple Swami makes it to understand. How many zillion, gazillion iPhones are there? For all of them, the operating system is only one. Each phone doesn't have its own operating system. And therefore, you get how many Teslas are there? All the Tesla's model systems have one operating system. And you get constantly updating that to remove the bugs in the system, so that this operating system runs without any effort, and it has fixed all the bugs to run it smoothly. So constantly you are updating your operating system, accepting all the changes without even reading what the changes are. You don't even wait, update or go down to the bottom, accept all. Have you ever said reject all? Huh? You never said reject all. But have you read all the instruction? What are all the updates to the app? Huh? You never read them. Unconditionally you accepted. Unconditional. That means you trust the Apple, whatever they do with your own personal device. You have no idea what they do with your device, but unconditionally you accepted. If you trust a company called Apple and you unconditionally accept all the changes because you are so curious to make sure your iPhone is up to date, have you ever thought about your own system, iOS, the I operating system? the I am operating system? Have you ever thought about the I am operating system? How many apps are there in this system? How it has to function meticulously? And there is this guy called Ishvara, the supreme company controlling 7 billion people and their minds. Have you ever said, update is coming? Have you unconditionally accepted the update? Update. Get up in the morning, do your Gayatri Japa. Update. Update. You say, reject. This is not the time to do that. I don't have time. Update. Go to service today at the center. Reject. I have something else to do with my family. Some friends are coming from out of town and my responsibility is to take care of them. Reject service. How many updates are getting rejected? How many updates? And therefore, what happened? Your system is outdated. Your system is outdated. If a new update is coming and if you don't keep up with the updates, what happened to your iPhone? It's outdated. So therefore, what will happen? Slowly and slowly, all the apps that are dependent on that update start malfunctioning. Microsoft Word doesn't work. PowerPoint doesn't work. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. Slowly, what happens? System failure. I should extract it and create shorts on this for young people. Of course, the people on this call are also very young, like my Sivaramakrishna Sarmagar, very young man in heart. So, have we ever thought about our own system and updates? Never. So you became outdated. But if you are up to the system, when are these updates happening? Whenever there is this quiet time in the middle of the night, some huge update will come and it will refresh. And in your setting, you put automatic update. Amma, Sai Rama. Those updates come when you are doing your Anushtana and you're doing your mantra japa. And at that time, the mind is quiet and the intellect is completely illumined. Update comes. You don't even know an update has happened. And your dharmic presence as Satchit Ananda is constantly getting updated. And you will notice day by day that the way you look at things, the way you perceive things, the way you respond to things, everything is automated. And then you will notice, wow, I thought about this like that a few months ago. Now I look at the same thing. And what is different? That thing has not changed, but your awareness with your updated system has now better responsiveness to that same problem. This is what is called dharma. So we are dharmically outdated. We are dharmically outdated. You look at the society around us, we are dharmically outdated. Few individuals are outdated. Then suddenly the society is outdated. It will go to countries becoming outdated as far as dharma. I don't know how many of you keep up with this thing called WhatsApp updates, status update. The father of this body is an incredible soul. Back in 1969, he wrote 300 poems called Satyam Shivam Sundaram in Telugu, and the same translated into English as Truth, Bliss, and Beauty. And he is also the same year of birth of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, and his name is Purushottam. And therefore, I write as a reflection, Om Sri Sai Purushottamaya Namaha. And in that WhatsApp updates, I've been posting since his centennial birthday, which happened in July 10th. Since then, been putting one poem as a WhatsApp status update and giving a reflection as Om Sri Sai Purushottamaya Namaha of the same poem. Because the Telugu is not understood and the English that he has used to translation probably is also 1960s English, Wren and Martin grammar, and therefore many of the young minds won't even understand such English. Therefore, they have to put a reflection and a relevant modern English. And why I am bringing this up, for the last 2-3 days, the theme he was highlighting is civilization and culture. Civilization and culture. What is civilization? What is culture? We don't understand the difference between the two. Civilized people are not necessarily cultured people. Civilized, please remember this. Civilized people are not necessarily cultured people. Civilized societies are not necessarily cultured societies. Civilization is defined as advancement in the context of technology, this and that, and the way of living and the quality of living and all of that thing is therefore referred to as civilization. Therefore, based on that level of civilization, some countries are called first developed countries and the other are called third world countries. Third world. Can you imagine what kind of corruption of the human intellect has creeped in to call some countries a third world, some countries a first world, some countries second world, and we have accepted such definitions by the most so-called civilized nations so that we are differentiated and distinguished and call these are uncivilized people. If somebody did not speak proper English, we say they're uncivilized. Why I am talking about this? Because culture and dharma are intricately linked. This topic that I am talking about, the dharma, is a very important topic because many people don't understand what dharma actually means. Maharshimasya goptaram jamadagnimakurvata. And this beautiful example of this culture is about inner values, family values, traditions, how we treat each other, how we work as a family. Sahana Vavatu. This is the culture of Bharat. So in this beautiful set of poems that Professor Boddupalli Purushottam Garu has written in Satyam Shivam Sundaram, published in 1969. He was barely 42 years old at that time. Brings out this incredible contrast between how India doesn't have a great history in history books, but Bharat has incredible culture that was fostered and nourished in forests, not in cities. That culture, the end of culture, is perfection. That is Bhagavan's quote. Bhagavan says, the end of culture is perfection. End of culture is perfection. Perfection to a point that it is so dharmic in nature, the perfection intricately linked to dharma. And in that context of perfection, of performing his daily ritual, Jamadagni noticed an aberration, and therefore that had to be corrected. By the way, in last night I was looking at what Swami has said about this Jamadagni story, and my friend Mr. Unikrishnan Warrior, you can also read a beautiful description of Bhagavan. Satyasai Speaks, 1986. There is a discourse by him as the three avatars. And in that three avatars discourse, Swami was referring to the story of Parashurama and the inner significance of Parashurama. I can, let me see, it should be in my browser. Yes. Yes, somebody was saying something. What is the Satyasai discourse? Oh, there are two things. Yes, Satyasai Speaks. Sri Satyasai Speaks, volume 19. Guess what? September 15th, 1986.
Thank you. That is right to the point.
September 15th, 1986. Can be closer than that. And the title of the discourse is Sanctified by Three Avatars.
Satyasai Sahityam will have that discourse.
SSS, Satyasai Speaks.
Yeah, okay.
Satyasai Speaks, volume, I just mentioned the volume 19. Volume 19. You can browse and you will find the discourse.
Sure. Thank you, Sairam.
Yes. Purity of mind does not allow for any kind of tainting by bodily relationships. And then Swami's quote directly from what we were discussing yesterday, spot on with that, is that the restoration aspect is that the restoration of the relationship is now not in a bodily way, it is in a sublime dharmic way. And therefore that aberration was corrected, and the restoration represents restoring our relationships in dharma. What a beautiful way of putting that. Restoring your relationship in dharma, not having a relationship in karma. Our relationships are bound by karma. Karma koddi dorikadra, karma koddi puttadra, karma koddi pelli cheskunnanra, karma koddi. This is what we say in Telugu. Because of my karma, means bad karma, I got into relationship with this person. How many times we say that? Karma koddi puttadu. Because of my karma, this son is born. That's what we say when they don't obey. When they obey, abba, punyam koddi purushudu. You know? So we judge our relationships by how they like or dislike, how they obey or disobey, etc., but not in a dharmic sense. So Swami is saying very beautifully, once that bodily attachment is beheaded, Parashurama restored the relationship with the mother as the true divine being. And now there is this incredible significance associated with that. Mother Renuka is one of the Parashaktis. And she was taken to Mahur in Madhya Pradesh, a few kilometers up north of Ujjaini, where her physical body was final rites were done by, that is where she is called Ekavira. If you, in Devi Mahatmyam, when we were doing the Rahasya Trayam discourses, I described the story of Mother Renuka as one of the Shaktis, and where she is represented as Ekavira, and she is worshipped as one of the 51 avatars of Shakti herself. And that restoration of Parashakti has happened with this beheading. So the spiritual significance of it, when we correct it, when you connect to it and go back to it, then the interpretation of the story from our own point of view of Deha Dharma will transcend and transform to Atma Dharma. The dharma that you follow based on body, the dharma that you follow based on by mind, the dharma that you follow based on your atmic consciousness, they are not the same. The first two are drowned in attachment and delusion. Vishvam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhataha शिष्याचार्यतया तथा पितृपुत्रादा मनाभेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा येष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. Our relationships are bound by affections and attachments related to the body and the mind. But when you transcend in dharma, you take out this vesture that you are looking at, and the vesture you are wearing is my relationship to the body. The vesture you are wearing is my relationship to the mind, my relationships in work, my relationships in society, my relationships in WhatsApp groups, my relationships in Facebook, my relationships on Instagram, how many different relationships that we are maintaining, and at the end of it, maintaining all these relationships, your mind has become so impure that it cannot distinguish between what is consciousness, the relationship in Atmic consciousness, but it has got drowned in the bodily affairs. Wow, this is very powerful, no? Maharshimasya Goptaram Jamadagni Makurvata. Only those two lines we are. Only those two lines we are talking.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Huh?
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Can't say anything more.
Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bhida Sattva Bhavita Vastu Kevalam. So therefore this
Satsvabhavita.
Satsvabhavita, yes. Satsvabhavita Vastu Kevalam. Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bhida Sat Swabhavita. Sat means supreme truth. Sat Swabhavita. Vastu Kevalam. So that is what is it saying, that couplet by Bhagavan Ramana? Isha and Jiva. Isha, the Paramatma, Jiva, the Jivatma, the individual, the supreme infinite consciousness, and the individualized finite consciousness. Those two are different only by the vesture that they wear. Whereas the substance is concerned, they are both Sat. And therefore, what is Bhagavan Ramana saying? When you take out this vesture, what remains? The substance. And that's when you will get your true nature, who you are. And that is the Swatma Darshanam. You will have the vision of your own true self. So this Maharshimasya Goptaram Jamadagni Makurvata Jamadagnihi Apyayate. Let's chant those. Let's chant that particular 4 lines, and then we'll get into today's class. जमदग्निराप्यायते छन्दोभिश्चतुरुत्तरैः राज्ञः सोमस्य तृप्ता सह ब्रह्मणा वीर्यावता शिवानः प्रदिशो दिशः. Please chant.
ॐ जमदग्निराप्यायते छन्दोभिश्चतुरुत्तरैः राज्ञः सोमस्य तृप्तासः ब्रह्मणा वीर्यावता शिवानः प्रदिशो दिशः.
जमदग्निः आप्यायते.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry.
It's okay. Your mind went to the language of the heart. जमदग्निः आप्यायते चतुः छन्दोभिः उत्तरैः. चतुः छन्दोभिः चतुः उत्तरैः. That is like in syntax it is चतुः छन्दोभिः उत्तरैः राज्ञः सोमस्य तृप्तासः ब्रह्मणा वीर्यावता शिवानः प्रदिशः दिशः. Okay, those are the padas. Jamadagni appeases the beings. Apyayate. The word apyaya. In Telugu also there is a word called apyayam. Apyayam means affectionate. How this Jamadagni is appeasing the beings with mantras from all the four Vedas. Chatuhu means four. Chandobhihi means the four Vedas. Uttaraihi and beyond. Rajnyaha Somasya, the supremely radiant Soma, is also pleased by him. Trupta Saha. Brahmana Viryavata. With what? With the Brahmanas that are powerful. This Brahmana is actually Brahmana. Is it Brahmana? So basically, what we know that, right? There are two types of mantras. There are Brahmanas and there are the regular mantras. Mantras primarily relating to a particular deity or a theme or nature, etc. But Brahmanas are the supreme teachings of the Vedas. So how is he protecting this dharma? By appeasing the mother nature with the Veda mantras that are intended. Brahmana apnoti. Brahmana apnoti. I think it is Brahmana. Brahmana. Oh, Brahmana apno. Sorry. That's a very, very different mantra. That is a Brahmana Viryavata. Yes. Brahmana Viryavata is correct. There is another mantra in the beginning as Brahmana apnoti sakhalu samvatsarayetai sena vissaha. There it's Brahmana. Here it is Brahmana. Brahmana Viryavata means these Brahmanas, the powerful Brahmanas, Viryavata. So what is this mantra saying? The Rajna Soma and the Chatuhu Chandobihi These two are the ones that are appeasing. The first ones are appeasing to Mother Nature, therefore appeasing to all the beings. And the second set of Brahmanas, which are the teachings. By practicing the teachings, you please the God. And by doing the rituals, you do the Mother Nature. If you understood this, you will have only pure thoughts. You will never think ill of others. And whatever ritual you do, it is done for Loka Kalyana, for universal peace, for appeasing the Mother Nature, so that the Mother Nature gets pleased and gives rain on time, and gives all the different aspects of the seasons working meticulously with each other. For that, the rituals are intended. And by following the teachings of the mantras, you please the Supreme Consciousness within. That means you get closer and closer to the Supreme Consciousness. By simply doing rituals or by simply doing upasana of the mantras, but simply getting some kind of nonsensical siddhis or whatever people are deluded by. People should go psychologists if they think they have some powers because of the mantras. That's all delusion. Psychologist is the only cure for that. The only purpose you do the ritual is to appease the Mother Nature. The only purpose you practice those mantras is to appease your inner true self nature. And that is what Jamadagni as an example represents. Then Jamadagni not as in some Rishi that lived long time ago. Jamadagni means when you consume the fire of this wisdom, Jnana-agni. Jnana-agni, Jamadagni. The one who has consumed the fire of wisdom. How will they behave? They will be an example in doing supreme offerings for the sake of appeasing the Mother Nature, but at the same time consuming the fire of wisdom and living a dharmic life that is pure sattva. Sat Swabhavita doesn't mean that I am God and all of that stuff. Sat Swabhavita means the mind filled with pure sattvic consciousness. It does not have any tamas. It does not have any rajas. An equanimous, balanced mind will get you to that sat state, which is sattvic state, and beyond that is Shuddha Sattvikata. I wrote about this somewhere recently, but anyway. And by doing so, what happens? Sivanaha Predishaha Dishaha. With all this, Naha means our, Shiva, auspiciousness, will expand in Disha, the four directions, Predisha, and the corners of those four directions. See how this beautiful mantra is concluding into all these mantras, the cosmic order maintained by 8 Agnis, 11 Vayus, 11 Gandharvas. Then these, excuse me, the 7 Parjanyas. All this is cosmic order. All these are cosmic sentient beings. All these have to be appeased by rituals. All those rituals that are offered have to be protected. Means they have to be done in a dharmic way. What does it mean in a dharmic way? With supreme discipline and commitment. And that supreme discipline and commitment is living like a Ritvik. What is living like a Ritvik? in complete synchrony with the order of the Mother Nature. No discrepancy from that. And then when you perform these rituals, those rituals have two aspects to it. The first aspect is the performance of the action itself. And second is the transformation of the inner being, the Jivatma to the Paramatma. Those two go hand in hand. If you only pursue the ritual, it will only lead to a little bit of purification of mind, but it does not let go of your nature that is pre-programmed by your instincts to behave like an animal that you have carried from several janmas. When the fire of wisdom through these Brahmanas is now lit up within you, that burns all those animal instincts, and therefore you will transform from tamasoma, jyotirgamaya, asatoma, satgamaya, mrutyorma, amrutangamaya. That's how transformation happens. Rajya somasya truktasaha. Brahmana, I keep getting Brahmana because the inner meaning of it is Brahmana. Brahmana, Viryavata. So, you understand, brothers and sisters, how corrupt our minds are to understand the word even Brahmana. The moment somebody says, in Purusha Suktam, from the face came Brahmin, immediately, oh, this is all very bad. Why they are differentiating Brahmins came from face and Shudras from the feet. This is discrimination. That is because you have a corrupt mind. That's not what it is saying. Brahmana means supreme teaching in the context of what we are talking here. The one who lives that teaching is a Brahmana. The one who lives the teaching of the mantra is the Brahmana. Not simply chanting the mantra is a Brahmana. It's nothing to do with your caste system and all of that stuff. Only based on the karmas, by your actions and their results, that you are classified into these 4 different types. Nothing to do with the so-called caste system that we got carried away in history. But coming back to this mantra, by the ritual in action, which is work, with discipline, dedication, and commitment, which is worship, then through that you will get the teaching to be applied in real life, which is the wisdom. Work, worship, wisdom, all the 3 are interrelated and they'll run like 3 channels, not independently, but merged with each other. And by doing that, what happened? Shivanaha, Pradishaha, Dishaha. Our auspiciousness, our positivity will spread in all directions. No more castor oil face, no more bodily tantrums, no stupidity of body language. All of that will disappear. And your presence will bring stillness to everybody around you. And your presence will radiate positivity to everyone around you. And you will become the light of delight. The next mantra is most commonly chanted Shanti mantra. So that I am sure most of you know. Tachayora vrunimahe.
Tacchayora
Gatai yajnaya.
Gatunyajnaya
गातुं यज्ञपतये.
Gatun Yaknyapataye.
99% of the people chant those syllables incorrectly. First out of the bat, they say, Tachamyoravruni. Then say, Gatum yajnaya, Gatum yajna. That is not tum there. You have to have it as Gatui yajnapataye. Anuswaram is ardha. Anuswaram, ardha of consonant. Daivi swastirastunaha.
Daivi swastirastunaha.
Swastir manushebhyaha.
Swastir manushebhyaha.
Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam.
Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam.
Shanno astu dvipade.
Shanno astu dvipade.
Shanchatushpade.
Shanchatushpade.
Tachayyoravruಣಿmahe.
Tachayyoravruಣಿmahe. Tachayyoravruಣಿmahe.
Gatui yajnaya.
Gatun yaknyaya. Gatun yaknyaya.
Gatui yajnapataye.
Gatun yaknyapataye. Gatun
Sorry.
yaknyapataye.
Daivi swastirastu naha.
Daivi swastirastu naha. Daivi swastirastu naha.
Swastirmanushebhyaha.
Swastirmanushebhyaha. Swastirmanushebhyaha.
Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam.
Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam. Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam.
Shanno astu dvipade.
Shanno astu dvipade. Shanno astu dvipade.
Shanchatushpade.
Shanchatushpade. Shanchatushpade.
Good. Please chant the whole mantra.
Om Tachayyoravruಣಿmahe. Gatun yaknyaya. Gatun yaknyapataye. Daivi swastirastu naha. Swastirmanushebhyaha. Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam. Shanno अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे
So therefore, this mantra is Tat Shamyoh Avrunimahe. Avrunimahe. Tat means that. Shamyoh. Shamyoh. Shamyoh means that which is Sham. Sham means that which is bliss. That which is bliss is happiness without any cause. Most of our happiness is related to a cause. Why? Something we like, we happy. Something we don't like, we are unhappy. And castor oil face, throw tantrums. Everybody around is affected. Something you like, oh my God, big face with a big smile. Go hug. Go do all this nonsense. So our happiness is a temporary. It's all driven by what you like and what you don't like. You don't actually see the root of what it is, and therefore you are subject to this swings of pain and pleasure, up and down, and that means mind is in work all the time. Therefore, you should go to a psychologist. And those people also don't know what mind is. I asked in South Africa, I was talking about to a few psychologists. I said, what is mind? I said, great question. We don't know. Then what did you study? If psychology is a study of mind, what did you study? So this Shanyog means that which is bliss. Tat Avrinimahe. May it take over us. So we are invoking and we are praying for this, for that Shem, that which is bliss, that is unconditional or not conditioned by any cause, Avrunimahe. And to do that, what we do? Gatum. Gatum means to achieve the goal of, or to reach the goal of, yajna, sacrifice. So to reach this goal of Shem, we are performing the sacrifice, Gatum, Yajnapataye. May the performer of the yajna also achieve the goal. Daivim Dvaidaivihi Swastihi Astu Naha. May the divine beings, the sentient beings, Daivihi Swastihi Astu Naha. May they bestow well-being upon us. In this mantra, Daivihi is not the gods outside. Here the Deva Shabda is used to the senses. And your own senses have to be swastihi astu. They all have to be in their right place. Otherwise, you are a diseased person. Dis-ease means your senses are not in the right place. Ease means the senses are operating in their own way, and they're operating very beautifully in concordance with each other. That's what I was explaining in the practice class the other day. Sahana Vavatu. Sahana Bhavatu doesn't mean let us all be together, means what? First you have to tell yourself, Sahana Bhavatu, am I together as myself? Are my senses under my control? Is my mind under my control? Is my intellect under my control? And if they're not under your control, they're not in swasti, means they're not in the right place. So Daivihi Swastihi Astu Naha. Swastihi Manushebhyaha. May all the beings be well. That is well-being of all the well-being of all the beings. Urdhvan jigatu bheshajam. Urdhvam bheshajam jigatu. Going forward, urdhvan jigatu, on our path forward, on our path of transformation, may we have jigatu, may we have the access to the medicine. This medicine is such a very important thing. In the medicine, there is a sin. If you are a sinful person, you take medicine. Half of your sin is coming in the form of medicine. Urdhvanjigatu bheshajam. Bheshajam means medicine. Urdhvam bheshajam jigatu. Sham naha astu dvipade. Sham chatushpade. Sham naha. May happiness be also be upon the two-legged dvipade and also on the four-legged chatushpade. Sham astu. Be peaceful as well. Yeah, what is this? This is a Brahmana. All the essence of this ninth Advaka is coming to this Brahmana with this mantra called Shanti mantra. What is Shanti? What is Shanti? Is it a temporary aspect of keeping calm for a few minutes and after that you create Ashanti for everybody else? First yourself and then it radiates outside as the Ashanti for everybody else. That is not what Shanti is. There is a huge difference between being calm and being peaceful. Huge difference. Your mind is calm for a temporary aspect of 1 hour, 2 hours. After that, it goes into complete chaos. You don't have it together. Your thoughts will trigger some tantrum and you throw the tantrum. And the tantrum expresses as your body language. If you understand yourself, you don't need to go anywhere else. So this Shanti mantra, Shanti actually means complete concordance. Complete concordance. No discordance at all. Within yourself and what is outside of yourself. That's what this mantra is actually invoking. Sham Shabdam, Shankara. Shankara. Shankara means the one who does things that give not only bliss to himself, but to everyone else around. That is who Shankara is. Actions that give this incredible ananda, happiness, positivity to everybody around you. Otherwise, you are King Kara. You don't even know what you're doing. Shambhu. Shambhu. Understand, that's the Sham Shabdam. I'm only talking about Sham Shabdam. So Shankara, Shambhu, Shambhavi, all these incredible, beautiful words represent this being that gives total tranquility and peace within and without. And for that, you need to sacrifice yajna. Then you have to be yajnapati, the protector of the yajna. Pati shabda means protection. Yajnapataye means the one who protects the yajna. Yajna, the sacrifice. Yajnapati means the one who protects the sacrifice. And therefore, by protecting this sacrifice, what leads to is Daivihi Swastihi Astu Naha. Our own indriyas, our own inner faculties will become stabilized. They reach this place of tranquility, concordance. And when that happens, you will also see transcendence from I to we. And if you take the word illness and wellness, the only difference is in illness, there is I. In wellness, there is we. Illness, wellness. And therefore, the next set of lines are talking about expansion. Once your own senses are in this peaceful, tranquil state called the Sham, and that is the same thing that is present in Shanti, Sham, Shankara, Shambhu, Shanti, Shambhavi, all have the root in this single syllable called Sham. ఊరికే మంత్రాలు చదివితే కుదరదు, చింతకాయలు రాలవు. I was talking to somebody that was saying some Pratyangira Upasana and all of that stuff. I asked her the question, do you understand the word Pratyangira? I was saying, oh my God, these people that can use these mantras to do this, do that. I said, all that is nonsense, ma. It's complete nonsense. Please don't get into this kind of nonsense. Especially as a Swami devotee, you should not get into this nonsense. If you really understand what Pratyangira is, you will be damn careful about it. You will be so careful that you will stay away from it. You know why? Garagiraha. You understand the word Garagiraha? Garagiraha, that came in 2 lines before last mantra that we came. Nainangaro hinasti rashmayascha deva garagiraha. Gira means this supreme vibration. Pratyak gira, that will go inside you, not outside of you. That gira means that vibration that takes you totally inside of you. It's an extremely sattvic, most powerful mantra. You have to be extremely careful with it, because if you do it with any negative thought, that vibration will totally destroys you. Why? Because it is going inside. It's not to be used for outside. And that is where the Kshudra Shaktiya happens. And those people will be totally destroyed. They will become mentally distorted, delusioned people. Stay away from that kind of, do sattvic sadhana. Love and service is the most beautiful way of realizing yourself Why I am talking about that? I am talking about that because all this mantra is about Sham, 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 Shanti, Shankara, Shiva, Shivanah Pradisho Dishaha. That's how this mantra is starting. Shivanah Pradisho Dishaha. How does that Shivam start? How does that Shiva, the positivity, the auspiciousness from within you expand with invoking this thing called the Sham? And that Sham that is invoked first through sacrifice. What is sacrifice? Completely destroying your own identity associated with yourself. And when you are doing that, you have to protect. What do you have to protect? You have to protect that consciousness which is enabling you to sacrifice everything else. Then through that process, what happens? Daivi, Hiswastihi, Astunaha. All the senses will start now going inside. And that process of everything going inside, para pratyakchiti rupa pashyanti paradevata. This gira, the vibration, para pratyak chiti rupa. So if you really understand what those are, some people on YouTube are putting these mantras, and some ignorant people, they listen to these YouTube videos, they get carried away. They're doing all these things without proper direction of a guru, without proper direction of what these actually do to them, and in the process, allowing people to get. And these people that are crazy like sheep, they think that doing these mantras will give them some shaktis and all of this nonsense. And in the process destroying themselves. 100%. Please be just in a sattvic path that is called Sham. And through that love and service and sacrifice, your being will become swasti. And then by doing that, you will transform from I to we. Your illness turns to wellness. And then you start moving on this path of this urdhva. Urdhva. Urdhva means not outside of going outside path. When this awareness has lit the fire in you, your awareness will start moving from lower level to higher level to highest level to supreme level, as how Aurobindo Yogi calls as lower mind, normal mind, super mind, supramental mind. So the mind is going on the path of higher awareness. And during that path of awareness, you require a proper medicine. May we be given this medicine. And that medicine is a destruction of all the sins. Durita. Mama upata samasta durita kshayadvara. This is what you say in Sankalpa. Durita kshaya. Destruction of all the sins requires medicine. And by doing that, Shamnaha astu dvipade chatushpade, you expand this tranquility not only to yourself, but to all the beings that are around you, whether they are two-legged or four-legged. This is the beautiful Shanti mantra. I don't know. Have I gotten? Oh, 810. My God. Okay. The last line of this 40th. Somapa asomapa iti nigadavyakhyatah. Solida.
Somapa asomapa iti nigadavyakhyatāha.
And here you see a 3. 3 means 3 matras. There you see Somapa asomapa iti nigadavyakhyatāha.
somapa asomapa iti nigadam vyakhyatāha. My Shruti.
It's flat, yeah, Shruti is off. Okay.
Om
That's flat.
somapa asomapa iti nigadam vyakhyatāha.
So count of 3. Somapa, asomapa, iti nigadav vyakhyatāha.
Somapa asomapa iti nigadam vyakhyatāha.
Iti nigadav vyakhyatāha. Here ends, iti means the end, full stop. Here ends the detailed commentary, the details of the entire cosmic forces about all the gods and demigods. With this last line, it ends. Iti nigada vyakhyataha. And what are those gods and demigods? This mantra for 34 to 40 from the Panchati 34 to 40. 6 Panchatis in Aruna Prashna have described 8 Agnis, 11 Vayus, 11 Gandharvas, Vagdevi, 7 Marudganas, 7 Parjanyas, along with the Vishvedeva, the great sages that experienced these in their awareness, as in Bhagavan Vyasa, Jamadagni, and all this commentary has now come to an end. Iti nigada vyakhyata. And these are described as 2 categories. Somapa, those that have consumed soma. Asomapa, those that have not consumed soma. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the 40th. So now, who are these somapas? Who are these asomapas? Who are the ones that consumed the soma? And who are the ones that did not consume soma? In the Vedic scriptures and tradition, especially in Rigveda and other places, Indra, Surya, Agni, Vishvedeva, and in some contexts, Vayu, they are the ones that are offered soma rasa in the yajna. For them, soma rasa is offered. And the rest of them, like Gandharvas and all those things, they are not offered oblations, as in soma. And therefore, there ends the commentary about those that are offered soma and consume soma, and those that have not consumed the soma. So another nuance about this is this thing called 3. Number 3 is written, no? And that 3 is what is called plutam. There is a udatta, means flat, anudatta, lower note, swarita, higher note, dirgha swarita, 2 higher notes, and then there is this pluta. Pluta means, so this pluta is the intonation where the vowel at the end of the word is held for 3 units of time, as I just illustrated. Why is this pluta used? Even the use of swaras have a meaning associated with them. Swaras are not used for the sake of just musical context. Swaras are used to indicate meaning. The meaning of this plutam changes in context. and it will come in different places. And when that occurs, I will try to explain, at least to the extent of what this mind can grasp. So in the context of this mantra, the plutam indicates all those. Somapa, all those that consumed soma. Asomapa, all those that did not consume soma or not offered soma. Iti nigada vyakhyata. This concludes the commentary and the description. Vyakhya means commentary or description, and that's where the 40th mantra has concluded. Jai Sai Ram. Let's now close with the Yadaksharapada Bhrashtam and take any questions or comments. I don't know who is there to pick for chanting Yadaksharapada Bhrashtam. Pavani, chant Yadaksharapada Bhrashtam.
ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वरा अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वरा अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वरा हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु.
Okay, are there any questions? Some person just texted me saying that the thought for the day posted in Prashanti Nilayam is exactly about this thing called Ananda, the bliss. Maybe somebody can pull it up, but I'll read in the meantime. There are two categories of Ananda in the world. Sadhana Janya Ananda, acquired bliss, and Svatasiddha Ananda, self-generating bliss. Acquired bliss is associated with sensory objects. It arises and vanishes from time to time. It does not endure. For instance, when, okay, there it is, thank you. For instance, when hunger is appeased, there is happiness for the moment, but it ceases after a time. This applies to all objects in the world. This type of joy has been described as acquired or derived happiness. As it is got and lost by human effort, it is not true bliss. Man, however, seeks lasting Ananda. He is, in fact, filled with Ananda and is the embodiment of Ananda. Ananda constitutes his very nature and being. Why then does he not experience it? This is because, unaware of his true nature, he is obsessed with the external world and fails to experience the bliss within. He imagines that the source of joy lies in the phenomenal world. But as is the case of butter that is present in every drop of milk, but which can be seen only after the milk is curdled and the buttermilk is churned, this inner bliss can be experienced only after the right effort is made, the mind is filled with various kinds of joy. It is only when appropriate inquiry is made and one's true nature is ascertained that the divine Sat Chit Ananda inherent in one will be manifested. Divine Discourse, February 12th, 1989. Thank you, Bhagavan, for concordance of the inside with the outside. Shanti. Jai Sai Ram. That's another direct proof that Swami is part of this satsang.
My question was going to be that how to understand. My question was how to understand happiness without a reason or bliss. I was going to ask that. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so you got answered. Sai Ram. So I think Chandrasekhar posted the sanctified by 3 avatars link in the chat, and you can use that. Bharat's culture is rooted in the Vedas. Music and literature have come from the Vedas. The Sama Veda is the primal source of music. Rigveda is the source of all literature. And maybe you can pull it up. Let's see what he said about Kerala Onam. Oh, this is Onam discourse, Kana. Is that the one where he's talking about Parashurama?
Yeah, I think here we can see.
Okay. Read what he said about Parashurama.
Let me see. Where should I start? From Kerala?
Parashurama is one of the avatars of Vishnu.
Okay. Parashurama is one of the avatars of Vishnu. When Parashurama's father, Jamadagni, was beheaded by a Kshatriya king, his mother Renuka cried in anguish, Rama, Rama. Parashurama, who was away from the ashram, could ethereally hear the cries of his mother from afar and rushed home. He counted that his mother had called his name 21 times. On reaching the ashram, he saw his father's head severed from the body. The horrible crime had been committed by the Kartavirya's sons. Parashurama took a vow to wage war against the vile Kshatriya rulers for 21 times and end their rule all over the earth. Parashurama accomplished his mission by defeating the Kshatriya king 21 times and came to his ashram to pray to his ancestors for restoring his father's life. The sage Bharatwaja, to those Gotra Jamadagni belonged, appeared before Parashurama. To whose Gotra Jamadagni belonged, appeared before Parashurama and restored Jamadagni to life by placing the head and body together. After this, Parashurama felt that the purpose of his advent had been achieved, and as he had no desire to be a ruler, he made a gift of all the territories he had conquered to the sage Kashyapa. He felt that having given away everything, it would not be right for him to remain on the land he had gifted. He decided to. Is this the right one?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. There is a description of Parashurama, but not the story of Jamadagni and Renuka per se. Okay, I'll look into that. There could be another.
Yeah, it has some actually. If you go down,
Does it have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I can just pull it out. There is a section on implicit obedience merits its own rewards.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't share the screen though. Actually.
You can't? Oh, sorry. You pull it up again, Shama.
Okay, is it the same link? I'll share the
Yeah.
same thing. Okay. Please guide me. Well,
No, just type again Parashurama and in your.
okay.
So search for Jamadagni.
Yeah, just
Jamad-
search for Jamadagni.
Jamadak. Ah, yeah.
Now come down. No, I have.
Yeah, mine stops here.
Oh, maybe I posted a different.
That's a different one.
Oh, there is Jamadagni. I see Jamadagni. Oh, that was a different Jamadagni. Yeah, okay. Different story.
Yeah, let me post another one.
Yeah, let me see.
That I see. Can you take this one, brother?
Yeah. Okay, let me. Krishna, this one. Okay, let me.
Just search for Jamadagni here.
Jamadagni. Did I do that? Jama.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, this is the one.
Okay, here. Should I read it? Okay. A similar incident occurred in the life of Parashurama, son of the sage Jamadagni. One day, when Jamadagni's wife went to the river to fetch water, the king Vichitravirya was going in his chariot. She was a pure hearted lady. She just looked up to see who was going in the chariot. She was struck for a moment by the beauty of Vichitravirya. When she returned to the hermitage, Jamadagni ordered Parashurama to cut off the head of his mother. Parashurama did not flinch for a moment. Carrying out his father's command implicitly, he cut off the head of his mother. Jamadagni then asked his son, "What boon do you want? You have implicitly carried out my command." Parashurama said, "Dear father, restore the life of my mother." The sage gave back her life. Implicit obedience merits its own reward. This is the inner secret of how the divine works. That's it.
Yeah, there here he is not describing the inner significance of it. Okay. So I'll get back to you guys on that. Maybe there is another discourse where we did that. Okay. All right. Any questions? Oh, who is asking for Alka USA? Alka USA, you're new to the group, ma? Who is Alka USA? Okay.
Yes, I'm new to the
Push it
group.
up.
Yes. Sairam. Yeah.
Okay, Sairam. Have you
This is the
joined the
second.
Veda study group?
Yes, I joined the Veda study group. Yes.
Yeah. So if you go to Sai Atrudram website, all the material, the learning resources, the announcements about the class, everything is there. Okay, you
Okay.
can find
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And
I
we
will do
are
that.
we are changeless people. It's the same link you connect every time.
Okay. Sairam. Thank you. Thank you.
You don't need to ask that every class. Okay.
Okay.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Okay. Let's be connected. Same link.
Okay. Thank you. Sairam.
Sairam. Okay. Any questions?
Saramana, I was just looking at this word apyayate. So I see another mantra in the Agni Karyam that is also referred to the soma actually. Apyayasva sametute vishvatas soma.
Apyayasva sametute. Yes. Apyaya is the same word, appeasing or pleasing. Yes, it's a verb. Okay. I'm glad you are connecting to the words. Slowly it will raise your awareness in chanting and then chant properly. Okay, next. Yes, sir. Sharma garu చెప్పండి.
నమస్కారం సార్.
సాయిరామ్ సార్.
ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ తెలుగులో ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ I wanted to understand here the yagna generally soma rasam is given to devatas during after performing the yagna only, no, not so how it is relevant here, somapa asomapa, why he has brought in here in this particular things particularly, this is what I just wanted to know on this part.
Yeah, so what it is saying is iti nigada vyakhyata means here ends the explicit commentary about two types of cosmic divine forces described above. Okay, so iti nigada vyakhyata means there the anuvakam is ending. Where did it start? Agnayo jata vedascha sahoja ajira prabhu vaishwanaro naryapascha. That's how it started. And now all of that description of six panchatis is all completely about 8 of the Agnis, 11 of the Vayus, 11 of the Gandharvas, and all the Parjanyas and the Marudganas. All that has come to a conclusion here. And this conclusion is about two types of cosmic forces. The two types of cosmic forces are those that are offered the soma and those that are not offered the soma. That is all it is saying. So those that are offered the soma are Agni, Indra, and in some context Vayu, etc. Vishvedeva also are offered. But there are like these Gandharvas and Marudganas, they are not offered the soma oblation. Therefore, two types of description of divine beings. Here is the end of that description. That's all it means.
That means that is select as a counter this one. Does it means it is talking about para and apara? This completely. No, I just,
That's a beautiful observation. Somapa, asomapa, symbolically, if you look at it, what is soma? Is this some Red Bull, America Red Bull method? It's equivalent to Somarasa. It takes the mind to a very high level. That's why people drink that. Somapa, asomapa. So when you drink that Red Bull, your mind gets fired up and goes to a different level. Those that are are offered in this divine election. You see, what you have to understand is these Gandharvas and some of these celestial beings, they're demigods. They're not totally classified as gods. They have different Shaktis, but they are not worshipped as part of the yajna. Only certain devatas are offered havis oblations during the yajna. But what happens is in this prakriya called Jayadi Homa, in the Jayadi Homa, there's a description of everybody, Apsaras, Gandharvas, Marudganas, everybody is given as what we call as an addendum offering. It's called Jayadi Homa. And next time when in Chandi Homa, when we do that, you can listen to those mantras, Jayadi Homa mantras. But
sure,
they're not part of the main havis. So this Jayadi Homa is an incredible ritual where the entire universe and the entire constellation, including all these, even mrityu and all those are appeased. But generally, in the main part of the yajna, it's not done. Okay, so those are the two types. Those that are, you can think of those people that are totally in divine consciousness, those people that are addendum to divine consciousness.
You-
Huh? You understand
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
Huh?
yes. Okay. I could get that.
Those that are 100% in divine consciousness, those have time for divine consciousness. Is those that have time. That means their divine consciousness is only subscribed to the Sai center time. After that, they don't know whether they are divine or not. Only other people can tell. Okay, but good observation. I don't know if it is related to para and apara, but you can also connect to what you are saying, your comment. Para means those that are in ultimate consciousness. Apara means those that are not in the ultimate consciousness. You can also interpret like that, but good observation. Yes.
Okay, so last Sairam, Swamiji has said about Ananda today, but there is a particular this one in Bhruvalli, Anando Brahme Vyajanat, Ananda Deva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante, Anandena Jatani Jivanti, Anandam Prayanta Visamvitantiti, Saisa Bhargavi Varuni Vidya, Parame Vyuman Pratishtata, Evam Veda Pratitistati, Annavan Annado Bhavati, Mahan Bhavati Prajaya Pasabir Brahmavartasena, Mahan Kirtya. There is a thing in Bhruvalli that
Correct. Yes, 100%. That is Varuni Vidya. There is a conversation between Varuni and the preceptor, where what is the ultimate Ananda? What is ultimate Ananda? And Ananda is very simply put, can you be happy without any reason? That's all.
And sometimes this is used as a Asirvada mantram also, sir, for some time.
Yeah, so that people will be in that Sham. Shanchame Mayashchame mantra is also used as a Ashirvachana mantra. May they be blessed with that. Chame is blessed. May they be blessed with that. So those are used as Ashirvachana mantras. Correct. Yes. Next.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sai Ram. Okay. Swastif.
Just quick question on the previous question about the soma. I kind of, my mind just went into the thinking somapa, the one that are influenced by the mind and the one not influenced by the mind. Meaning the Indra representing the mind and all soma, so all those plus the beyond super consciousness that is not influenced. That's the way I saw that right away, but maybe I'm
Very
wrong.
beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Soma also can be interpreted as the word soma also represents the mind. Somapa means those that are consumed by mind. Asomapa, those that are not consumed by the mind. But that would give a reverse impression in the context of the interpretation of the mantra as the somapa, asomapa. Those categories will reverse when you interpret like that. But what is the actual meaning of the word soma? What does the word soma contain?
Soma. So I think you mentioned that before also.
Namas somaya cha rudraya cha, where we chanted that somaya cha rudraya cha. Soma is a sandhi or the conjunction of two syllables. Sa plus uma becomes saha plus uma becomes soma, where the visarga is lost because of the sandhi. Saha plus uma is soma.
Yes.
Saha means that which is associated with uma. What is Uma? If you take the word then it becomes Om. Auma, Auma, when you reverse it, it becomes Om. Those that are in Om, those that are not in the Om.
Wow. Beautiful.
Those that are in the state of Turiya, beyond any of these three states, those that are not in that. That is also another way of interpretation. But all of those are very beautiful observations, right? That is actually, we're trying to now do the practical application of the mantra, how it applies to us, rather than simply chanting these mantras or using the mantras for some nonsensical purposes.
Sairam, Sairam, thank you.
So, Anna, maybe another thought came in because since we spoke about dharma, and so this somapa and asomapa may also mean that those who are established in dharma and the ones that are not.
I mean, see, that is not, I mean, you have to see, what we're trying to do here is, when interpreting the mantra, you should not lose the shabda. What is the shabda conveying, right? There is no reference to dharma there. See, when we are talking about soma, then we're talking about what does a soma mean as the shabdartha. And that shabdartha has to connect to the paramartha, not simply interpretation from a, that becomes a perspective, not really interpretation in the true context. Purinjada. So that is the main difference between you have to explain the literal meaning and explain the ultimate meaning or the inner meaning in the context of that literal meaning. So soma means Chandra, right? That is what is one interpretation of who Chandra is, the mind, and therefore that is relevant. Soma means Saha plus Uma. So therefore, what is that? Saha plus Uma means the one who is present through all the three states, and that is Omkaram, and therefore the one who is in that state of Turiya. See, that those are not losing the words that are used. Okay, you have to find the antarartha in the context of the shabdartha. Then you are in the right track. If you get any other interpretation that is not in the context of, then it's your own mind's interpretation. That's not. I'm not saying that is incorrect or anything like that. I'm not judging that, but that is not totally in sync. Pavani, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is a good metric to use. Those of you who are connecting to the inner meanings, you have to connect to all of that in the context of the words, in the context of the shabda. Even when you teach others, because otherwise what will happen? Hey, I don't find that in the words that are uttered. How did you come up with that? Is there a reference of the word soma to dharma or not? Then that interpretation is accurate. Yeah, I think Sonia is going in and out. I don't know if she wants to say something, but okay, Sairam, that's it. So Pavani, I specifically brought out your name because I read the thing that you sent. It's beautiful, but you have to apply that metric. Some of them are contextual, some of them are non-contextual. Yeah, that's where the mind's authenticity will be a cross-check. Okay, Sairam. We are going beyond the prescribed syllabus, as they would call, in teaching all of this. Nobody will even talk about all of this stuff. They'll be very happy if you just chant. And then you will be very happy if you just chant. We don't stop at chant, but we go to enchant. You get enchanted. You don't get chanted. Jai Sai Ram. Okay. Swastif Prajabhyah Paripalantam. Chandrasekhara, you can say the closure.
स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी